how to start a video podcast on YouTube. Well, ever since everybody shut down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve, a whole bunch of people got on the podcast craze. It was something that everybody had been thinking about, and now all of a sudden we had all the free time in the world to actually start to pursue it. Well, some folks took it a step further and wanted to go to YouTube. Well, let's go over the few things that you're going to need to get things set up, record it, and get it edited, your podcast on YouTube. Let's go. Now, by the end of this video, we are going to go over the preparation, what you need to do to lay a foundation for it, the actual recording of your podcast for video, and how to get it edited. Chop out those mistakes and make it look real good. We're going to cover that. Let's dive in. First of all, if you're doing a podcast that's going to go on YouTube for your business, the first thing you need to consider is, who is this podcast video vlog for? Well, it's for your potential customers and your current customers. This is a great way to bring in new business. It's also a great way to establish a long-term link to your current clients. Keep them engaged, keep them on the cutting edge of whatever it is that you're selling. For example, let's say you're doing, this works really great for service-based businesses, anything like coaches, consultants, financial planners, anybody who's in some type of a service providing capacity, whether it's monetary or personal coaching, fitness coaching, that kind of thing, all that is great. So if that fits you, you might want to seriously consider doing a podcast on YouTube. Ever since that podcast craze blew up during COVID, YouTube said, well, shoot, this is around to stay. We want a piece of that action. So that's why they have been so adamant about building up their podcast side on YouTube. And why not? If they're handing it to you, if they're giving you the platform, go for it. If you're going to do a regular podcast someplace else, strictly audio podcast, and have it hosted, guess what? You're going to pay a monthly hosting fee. And that's going to be anywhere between $10 to $50, depending on the host that you go with and what kind of bells and whistles they have for you in your subscription. YouTube is free. You got a video, start a channel, upload it, you're good to go. So step one is looking for your audience. You know who your audience is. They're your current clients. Don't you want more of those same people? Okay, maybe not a few of them. But the vast majority of your clients, I would imagine you do enjoy working with. Those are the people that you want to reach. Define them. Figure out who that avatar is and write that down. Hone in on that so you can attract more of the same people with your content. What kind of content are you looking for? That's even easier to answer. What are the questions that your current clients are asking about? For example, if you're a fitness coach, they're asking you about, oh, what exercise is good for this? Or what should I be eating as far as that is concerned? Or how do I stretch out before I do such and such? All of those are fantastic questions that they're asking you on a regular basis. In fact, I would venture to guess that whenever you have the same conversation with client again and again and again, chances are about 80% of the questions are going to all be the same across your clientele. That last little 20%, don't discount it, but it's going to be much more specific to their individual situation. But you can use that as inspiration and ideas for long-form content in your video podcast or vlog or podcast on YouTube, whatever you want to call it. Either way, start with a foundation of who you're talking to and what you're talking about. And then one other critical decision you need to decide before you press that little red button: what kind of format are you going to be doing? Is this going to be talking head video like I'm doing, just me in front of the camera, just you in front of the camera? Are you going to have maybe a co-host, maybe a partner? There's a big difference between the Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon relationship and two people who are actually carrying the topic, okay? Big difference. Maybe you're going to be in an interview situation, you doing the interviews of certain guests or something like that. Whatever the case is, make your determination, and that's going to tell you what equipment you're going to need and how you're going to be setting things up and editing it. So be sure to get those three main questions answered. Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? And how do you want to present it? So just for the heck of it, let's start off with the simplest setup. One person, you talking to the camera. How about that? You're going to need a camera, a microphone, some cables to kind of bring all this stuff together. Chances are it's going to be going either you're going to be recording in the camera like I'm doing here, or you're going to be recording straight into a computer, and that's going to require cables. So make sure you have the right cables for whatever the situation you'll be doing. Chances are microphones are going to go right into the computer, but your camera doesn't necessarily have to. You could be on a micro SD if you want. Get that gear together. Chances are you could probably get started with your smartphone if you just want to like test the waters. Smartphone, maybe some type of a tripod or selfie stick for it, and one simple light. You can even do something as simple as a ring light, or just stand by a window that on a bright sunny day. You don't want direct sunlight to cause harsh streaks of light, but soften it a little bit. Maybe close the blinds just a touch, or maybe you could use a translucent shower curtain. Put that over the window, that'll soften that light for you. Now, if you go with more, maybe you can do, say, a wide shot and to get everybody in the shot, unless you want to set up individual cameras and do a multi-camera type of shoot. Either way, as long as you start going with more people, you're definitely going to need more microphones. Not everybody can sit around one microphone and talk. You're going to need separate microphones, separate channels, maybe even some kind of an interface to get you into the computer at that point. Depending on what program you use to record that, be sure to have the microphones going into separate audio channels. You want everybody to have their own channel. And the scenario I'm thinking specifically is, let's say you're doing multiple people, but they're in different locations. And let's say you're going to use Zoom, something like that, some type of an interface. You can do that. You can there are plenty of interviews that have been recorded on Zoom that people have put up for their video podcast. Be sure to click the option to have separate audio files. Everybody on that call will have a separate audio file, and that's critical because they're going to be in a different room. It's going to sound differently. They've all got different microphones, different types of echo going on, different types of background noise. And when it comes to trying to make that all even and intelligible to one file, you're going to want the separate channels to be able to doctor them individually. By the way, if this is anything that you're thinking about for your business, taking your business in this direction to find new clients with either YouTube or a podcast or something along those lines, please like and subscribe. That's what we go over here, and we dip our toes into technology from time to time, lighting and microphones and cameras. So to get your business up and running, be sure to like and subscribe, and you don't want to miss a single episode. So the final step, we've done the preparation, we've done the recording. Now the final step is the editing. If you have multiple people, there are probably going to be times when you're going to be jumping back and forth. Now you can do that two different ways. Let's say you get one big wide shot with the camera. You can actually do that cutting back and forth in post-production. I've done that many times with people who, or if somebody's on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet, and you've got that gallery display, there are ways to bounce back and forth between people on the screen in post-production. You don't have to do that, say, with cameras and switchers and stuff like that. So depending on which way you want to go with that, you can do it with multiple cameras. That's going to add expense. You can do it with switchers. That's going to add to your expense. Or you can do it in post-production with the software. There might be some limitations. For example, if you do record this on over the internet only has certain bandwidth, and a lot of audio might not come across as really high quality. And then once you have a lot of people on there, and now everybody's got this really tiny square, trying to blow it up might end up being a little fuzzy or out of focus or something like that. Some limitations like that. But for the most part, you can do it either upfront or in post-production. Take your pick and then just work in that direction. And when it comes to producing, there are several different kinds of software that can accomplish this for you. Some are out there, are free, and they're very good. There are others that you're going to pay, say, a monthly subscription for. And then there are others that you can pay a one-time fee for and you're taken care of for life. Several of them are out there are free. There's a bunch out there that's for free. Some really good stuff that's professional quality that you can get for a one-time price or a subscription. And of course, a subscription over time, you're going to pay the one-time price. So you got to make that decision on where you want to draw the line. And there are several programs that will actually decipher, they will listen to the audio for you and come up with the subtitles. It's absolutely fantastic, and you can do a whole bunch of stuff with that. Not to mention, once you have everything pre-produced, or once you've produced everything in your own software, it's very easy to cut it up into smaller chunks and use it as promotional material for whenever the new episodes come out. So between subtitles and post-production tricks, bouncing back and forth and making it look like a multi-camera setup, it's pretty amazing what you can pull off on your phone or on your computer without having to hire somebody, a professional. You can really get started very well and produce some very professional looking results. Now, to get you started in the right direction, I do have a free guide for free video editing software. Down in the description, you're going to see a link. Click on that and get your copy of the free guide to free video editing software. It works for, I've got it broken up into 2 categories, Mac and PC. You'll see all the pros and the cons, what's the intermediate experience, what's the great for post-production, all kinds of good stuff. I've listed a few features from time to time, and kick it around. See which one you like the best. Try them. They're all free. Try 2 or 3 of them. Find the one that you like the most, the one that's the most intuitive for you, and hopefully you're off to the races. So click that link down below and get your copy of the free guide right now. I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.